Hey everyone, welcome back. In the last video, we learned Kubernetes provided config map and secrets to understand how to manage the configurations and secrets used by the application. In this video, we will learn what are container probes. Container probes are diagnostic activity which are run by kubectl, which is the kubectl agent, and it helps Kubernetes to check whether the application that we have deployed is up and running, is reachable, and has started. So to understand Kubernetes probes, we will go to the official documentation. And as we were discussing, a probe is a diagnostic activity which is performed by the Kubernetes, and that too periodically. Why this is done, we will cover in a second, but there are 4 ways by which Kubernetes actually perform this activity. The first one you can see is the exec. And in this case, you actually provide a specific command that Kubernetes runs inside the container, and by the output of this command, it knows whether the container is healthy or not. The second is gRPC, and in this case, Kubernetes will make an RPC call using gRPC, and based on the output, it will decide whether the container is healthy or not. Then we have other two, HTTP GET. In this case, Kubernetes will make an HTTP call rather than gRPC. Then the last one is TCP socket. And you can see that in this case, a TCP check is performed against the pod's IP by Kubernetes on a specified port. So there are 4 different ways, and depending on the deployment, what kind of application are we deploying, we choose one mechanism. So for example, in case of Spring Boot application, if this is a REST API, I would typically choose HTTP GET. But let's say if you are deploying the database, then maybe you will use exec or maybe TCP socket. So it depends on the type of deployment also. Moving on, we will see the different types of probe, and understanding them will help us to understand why this activity is actually required. So you can see there are 3 types of probes like Liveness Probe, Readiness Probe, and Startup Probe. The first one we will understand is the Startup Probe, which is simple. It indicates whether the application within the container is started. So when we deploy the application on Kubernetes cluster, Kubernetes needs a way to know that the application is up and has started. Okay. If you think about Spring Boot applications, they typically take few seconds to get the server up. So Startup Probe helps Kubernetes to know that the application has started up and it can accept the traffic. Then the second one is Readiness Probe. It indicates whether the container is ready to respond to requests. So for example, the server could be up, but maybe it depends on some third-party application or some other dependency before it can start accepting the requests. So by implementing the Readiness Probe, we can tell Kubernetes that, okay, the server is still not ready to accept the connections. Now, what happens if the Readiness Probe fails for a pod? So in that case, Kubernetes will actually remove that pod temporarily from your end slices. What that means is, suppose your application has 3 replicas, is supposed to have 3 replicas, but one of the pod is failing Readiness Probe, then Kubernetes knows that this pod or this particular container cannot accept any traffic. So all the traffic will be stopped and that pod will temporarily be removed from that replica set. All right. So that is the purpose of Readiness Probe. Then the last one is Liveness Probe, which simply indicates whether the container is running or not. And if this probe fails, then kubectl will actually kill the container. And whether the container restarts or not, it depends on the restart policy. So now we know there are 3 different types of probes and 4 different ways to perform the check. The next step is, how do we actually configure it? Well, we already know the answer. We are already using deployment.yaml, and that deployment.yaml defines everything that the application needs. So there is a link in the same documentation. If we open this one, then you can see different ways to actually implement different probes. And it's not mandatory to implement all the probes in the application. For example, you may only choose to implement Liveness or maybe the Startup Probe. So here we can see the example that in this deployment.yaml, the application or the deployment is only providing the Liveness Probe. And you can see here it is using exec command, and it is actually providing the command which is cat tmp healthy. So based on the output of this command, the Kubernetes will decide whether this application is live or not. Now there are 2 additional attributes, initial delay seconds and period seconds, and you can find the use of these 2 attributes here, that the period second field specifies that kubectl, which is the Kubernetes agent, should perform the probe every n seconds. Here the value defines how frequently you want to perform a particular probe. That is why this is a continuous activity. and which is this one, period second is 5. So in this case, the probe will be performed every 5 seconds. Then initial delay seconds tells the kubectl agent that it should wait 5 seconds before performing the first probe. So it gives some breathing space before Kubernetes actually performs a particular probe on a container. Then we have more examples of defining the probe. So in this case, we can see that this deployment.yaml is also configuring only the liveness probe. And here the mechanism is HTTP GET. So in case of HTTP GET, Kubernetes will make an HTTP call. So we need to provide the path, the port, and optionally the headers so that it can make an HTTP call to your REST API or HTTP server, and based on the output, your liveness of the application will be decided. And here again, we see the same two attribute, initial delay seconds and period seconds. So in this case, Kubernetes will make this HTTP call every 3 seconds, and it will wait 3 seconds before it makes the first call. So in the same way, you can define other probes as well, and the type of mechanism that is suited for the deployment. Now in our case, because we have a Spring Boot application, so of course we are going to use HTTP GET. We will define an endpoint that Kubernetes can call. The next step is, how do we actually define the HTTP endpoints? Well, the simplest solution in this case is to use the Spring Actuator dependency, because Spring Actuator dependency helps us to expose certain management related endpoints out of the box. So in this example, we will use Spring Actuator dependency. Then we will actually configure all of 3 probes in the deployment.yaml just for the demo. The good thing about Spring Actuator dependency is, just by adding the dependency, we will get some health related endpoints working out of the box for the application. So if we check out the official Spring documentation, there is a page endpoints, and on this page there is a section Kubernetes probes. And here we will see how to actually implement all these probes using actuator provided endpoints. So the first example that you see is Liveness Probe, and here you see the method HTTP GET. Then the path that we can use is actuator, health, and liveness. Okay. Then you need to pass the port, which is your actuator port, the port on which your actuator endpoints are exposed. In the same way, Readiness Probe, for Readiness Probe, we have the path actuator, health, readiness. Okay. And everything else remains the same, your failure thresholds and the period seconds. So that is how we configure these 2 or 3 probes for a Spring Boot application. The important thing to understand here is the path, the URL endpoint that you expose using actuator. Now, of course, if you are not using Spring Actuator, you are free to expose additional custom endpoints, and then you need to define or provide those custom endpoints in the Liveness Probe or whatever probe that you are configuring in your deployment.yaml. So the first thing we will do, we will add the actuator dependency. The second thing we will do, we will enable these 2 endpoints, because in certain cases we need to enable endpoints, actuator endpoints, before we can use them. And then in the end, we will update the deployment.yaml to configure these 3 probes. So we'll go to the IntelliJ and we'll start making changes to the application that we already deployed in the last video. So here we have the same application that we deployed in the last video, in which we use the config map and secret. For this demo, we have cut a new feature, which is video 3 health. So before doing that, let's also bump the version so that we have a new image just for this demo. The first thing we will do, as we discussed, we will add the dependency, the actuator dependency. Let's reload the project. Then we'll go to the application.yaml to enable the endpoints, and the property that we need to enable is management endpoints web include health and info, and that's it. Let's first start the application and let's see if we are able to access the actuator endpoints. So we'll start the application and the server is up. So let's go to the terminal. And we are getting an error because I think we added the wrong dependency. Instead of Spring Boot actuator auto configure, it should be simply actuator. This one. So let me reload the Maven and we'll restart the application. So the application is up and we go to the terminal. And this time we can see that the liveness endpoint is actually reporting that the status is up. What about the readiness? Let's check that one as well. and this is also working fine, so we are getting the status up. So the good thing is both the endpoints are working fine, the actuator dependency is working fine, so we can proceed with the Kubernetes deployment. So what we will do, we'll go to the deployment.yaml because we know we need to update the deployment.yaml. So here we will add the snippet that we found on the official documentation, alright, how to configure different probes. And before that, let me also change the image version. We haven't created the image, that we will, but we need to change this image version as well because we updated it in the pom.xml here. So let's go to the official documentation and we'll copy this snippet and we need to paste it here under name like this. So we have the Liveness Probe and the path remains the same. The actuator port in this case would be 8080 because we did not make any change to it, like this. And the failure threshold, let's put a random value for now, 30. Period seconds, we want this to be performed every 5 seconds. And let's keep the same for readiness and 3 seconds. So this looks good. We have updated the deployment.yaml. The next step would be to create the image and deploy the application on Kubernetes. So let me stop the application and we'll go to the pom.xml because we want to run the Spring Boot image plugin. So let's go here. Under Spring Boot, we have this plugin. We'll run this plugin which will create the image. Let's give it few seconds. So the image has been created and we should have the image in our local Docker Hub registry. So to check that, we will go to the terminal and we will check the image. So this is the image that we just created, 1.2 snapshot. Once we have the image, the next step would be to deploy the application. And to do that, we will use the deployment.yaml. We have already modified the deployment.yaml with Readiness Probe and the Liveness Probe. So let's start by deploying this YAML file. We will open a new terminal and we will first go to this infra folder like this. And we know how to deploy the artifact. We will use kubectl apply command -f and deployment.yaml. So this has been configured. Let me restart the deployment because I had it running earlier as well. And the name of the deployment. So this will take few milliseconds to start. In the meantime, if we see the status of the pods, then we have 2 pods which is related to this deployment and both of them are running. So in this case, the application has been deployed, but how do we check if Kubernetes is actually running all these probes? So to do that, we can actually describe the pods. So first of all, we need to know the pods. So there are 2 pods in this deployment because we have the replica 2. Now the second step would be, let's describe one of the pods. So we will do kubectl describe pod and the name of the pod. So here you can see all the events related to this pod and we need to focus here which says there is a warning unhealthy. Why? Because Readiness Probe failed. So that means kubectl or Kubernetes is actually running these probes against the application that we just deployed, and in fact there is a warning that Readiness Probe failed. And you also see the URL that it tried to actually run this probe. This is the URL which is using actuator endpoint that we defined in the deployment.yaml. Now we need to understand why this Readiness Probe failed. Well, the reason is, if you notice, the Readiness Probe that we configured in the deployment.yaml, it has this attribute period seconds 3. That means Kubernetes will actually run this Readiness Probe every 3 seconds. Now what would happen? Spring Boot application takes few seconds to come up. And in this case, we haven't configured anything else. So Kubernetes will not wait for the application to come up. It will simply start running this probe immediately. Hence, it is failing. Basically, the first probe failed, but after that, there is no event related to the probe because the server was already up. So in such situations, what we can do, there is another attribute which says how long should Kubernetes wait before it starts running all these probes. And that we already saw in the official documentation. So let's go back to the official documentation. And if we go to the examples, then this is the attribute initial delay of seconds, which is missing in our deployment.yaml, but you can add it. So that is why Kubernetes did not wait for the server to come up and it started running this probe, which is the readiness in our example. That is why we see one failed event. But after that, there is no failed event. That means the server was already up. Hence, all the subsequent probes are basically successful. Now, in the same way, you can also test the startup probe. So to do that, what you will do, you will add the same block, similar block for startup probe as well. This would change. To test it, give it a small value failure threshold, a very small value, so that when you apply the deployment.yaml, Kubernetes will immediately check that, okay, if the server is up or not. But because of this smaller value, the server is still coming up, and hence you will see this probe in action. So just apply a small value and see what happens when you deploy this deployment.yaml. Now, before we close this off, let's test if the application is still running because this probe failed. So to do that, we will run the port forward command to open the port 8080. So this is done. Let's go to the terminal and try to hit one endpoint. Okay, so we see that this endpoint is working fine. That means the server is working fine. It's just that because of this period second, we saw that failed event. So in this video, we learned what Kubernetes probes can actually do for your application. The important thing to remember is Kubernetes doesn't know when your server is up, when your application is ready. We have to tell it. In case of startup probes, they buy us time because Kubernetes will wait and it will wait for your application to come up. In case of readiness probes, they control your traffic. Depending on if your application is ready, the traffic will be diverted to your application to certain pods. And in case of liveness probes, they should be the last resort in case the application is not live, it's simply crashed or unresponsive. In case of Spring Boot applications, we should always add the startup probe, which we did not add in this example, and you can do this as an exercise. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.